Today, I'm sharing my top 5 skills that have gotten me where I am today, whether you think that's a good thing or a bad thing. Let's dive into the 5 critical skills you need to succeed. I have organized my top 5 skills in an easy framework for you to remember. A, B, C, D, E. Just by typing turning 50 in a comment below, I'll send you this handy little cheat sheet that covers my framework, A, B, C, D, E. So let's start with A, which is authentic. And authentic means to be real. Stop pretending you love something when you don't. Stop sugar-coating shit. Stay true to your values and your unique perspective. In UX, this might look like advocating for ethical design practices or the best user experience, even when it's not popular. How about sharing your professional failures openly? Being real about your fuck-ups makes you a more relatable person, and it causes other people to trust you more. It shows you are not superhuman or perfect. Also, let's talk about being authentic with your team. It's important that you tell the team what they need to hear, not necessarily what they want to hear. All I'm saying is don't bite your tongue when it matters. If someone says, "Does anyone have a problem with us moving forward in this way?" and you do see a problem with that, say something. Okay, so why does being real and authentic even matter? No more fake nice or pretending to do the right thing. Being real is how impact happens. Okay, so let's move on to the B in the A, B, C, D, E framework. B is for bold. Boldness is about taking risk and stepping outside of your comfort zone. It's kind of related to being authentic because being real takes balls. You got to be brave and bold to be authentic, right? Being bold is about considering others who may not be like you. Do you think that these products are as diverse as they could be? I sure as hell don't. Do these products take in other worldviews or considerations? Probably not. I could go on and on, but you get the idea. Speak up for those who are not represented in the room. Why does being brave or bold even matter? Boldness pushes innovation and growth. By speaking up against the status quo, you are making things better. It shows courage and conviction. And these are essential traits for influencing others and creating meaningful impact. To be bold shows that you have leadership potential. No matter where your career path goes, you are likely going to be leading from where you are. Now let's talk about my next critical skill, which is being curious. Curiosity is the foundation of UX. Duh. It's about asking questions like why and what if. Let's talk a little bit more about curiosity when it comes to working on products and features. Like I said, duh, curiosity seems like an easy one for UX folks, right? Of course we are curious. But are you though? Do you really understand your user well enough to design the ideal solution for them? Obviously, I think research is a great place to talk about curiosity. It's our whole job to be curious. Don't you just love digging deeper into the root causes of things like pain points rather than settling for surface level answers? Probing questions and getting to the why is the real goal of user interviews. But you know what? Interviews are not the only tool us researchers have in our toolkit. The bottom line here is don't just fall back on the same old research method that you always use. Shake it up a little bit and try something new. Be curious about research methods, not just the data that you collect. Let's also be curious about our workplace. We should do our best to understand the bigger picture. I want you to take some time to understand the broader context of your organization's goals and priorities, not just the little feature that you're working on. By staying informed by the company's vision and goals and things like that, and also shifts in the market, you can align your efforts to long-term objectives. I have a secret pro tip for you. If you really want to make an impact at your company and look super smart, do more research to inform larger initiatives like business goals and major products being discussed. When you show the company that you can get ahead of major initiatives and provide data to inform decisions, that is when you get a seat at the table. And that is when you will be brought into the process earlier. And that is when you will be considered an expert or thought leader or partner in this process. You can ask questions like, how does my work ladder up to the organization's major goals for this year? Or how does this decision impact other teams in the company? Thinking about an omni-channel experience, right? What's the long-term vision for this product? What differentiates this idea from what other companies are doing right now? Thinking more broadly than a feature can help you understand the wider implications of your work. So why in the hell does being curious matter? Curiosity keeps you engaged, adaptable, and forward-thinking. It ensures that you are not just solving today's problems, but anticipating tomorrow's challenges. Whew, we are moving right along here, folks. Remember, if you want a copy of my little cheat sheet, type turning 50 in the chat and I'll send that over your way. So let's talk about the letter D in the ABCDE framework. And D stands for dynamic. Being dynamic means staying flexible and thriving in a changing environment. So here are some ways that you can be dynamic in your UX career. First, you got to stay updated on industry trends. Reading articles, attending conferences, participating in webinars, and keeping up with the latest UX methodologies and tools and experiences. It's important to stay on top of things. I love this little quote from Albert Einstein. Let me read it to you. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. Think about that for a second. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. In order to make progress in your career, you have to keep moving. So let me ask you, how are you being dynamic and trying new things? Drop me a note in the chat. A dynamic mindset makes you resilient and resourceful. Finally, let's talk about the E in my top 5 skills you need to have right now, empathy. Empathy is the heart of UX and being a good human being. It's about understanding and connecting with others. I want to talk about another angle for empathy, and that is in your professional relationships and in your career overall. Building empathy all through your career, it's essential. And it's important because you do it to build strong relationships, foster collaboration, and improve your overall impact. And finally, I want to wrap up empathy by making it about you. Self-reflect and review your behaviors and reactions. Set some time for self-reflection. Take some time to think about and write about your interactions and your relationships at work. Are you showing empathy? Okay, so why should we be empathetic? Empathy drives meaningful experiences and it drives collaboration. And as a person, empathy deepens those relationships and strengthens our communities. There you have it, the top 5 skills that you, as a UX pro, need to have Those top 5 skills are authentic, bold, curious, dynamic, and empathetic. These are not just skills for user experience. Think of them as principles for living a fulfilling and impactful life. Here's to designing better experiences and better careers. See you next time. Bye.